Recycling or riding your bicycle? Which has a bigger impact in tackling climate change? Join me for a 5-minute taster lecture, and we'll explore the science of climate change, its impacts, and what we can do to make a difference. I'll explain the science behind climate change, how it works, what's causing it, and its impacts on Aotearoa. Kia ora, my name's Lauren Vargo, and I'm a research fellow with the Antarctic Research Center at Te Herenga Waka, Victoria University of Wellington. To address climate change, first we need to understand what it is. First, we'll talk about what climate is. Climate is weather averaged over several decades. And weather is what's going on outside our window every day. So climate change is the long-term change in average weather. This includes warming temperatures, but it also includes things like increasing extreme weather events, like heat waves and floods and storms. So we know that climate change is caused by greenhouse gas emissions. This is mainly carbon dioxide, or CO2, and methane. Both carbon dioxide and methane occur naturally in Earth's atmosphere. But levels of both of those have increased dramatically in recent decades. And we, scientists, know that this is mainly due to burning fossil fuels, which emits carbon dioxide, and agriculture, which emits methane. So how do these gases cause climate change? First, sunlight, or energy, reaches the Earth. Some of that energy is reflected. As we add greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, more energy gets trapped. That causes warming, which results in climate change. We care about climate change because of the impacts, especially in New Zealand. In addition to warming temperatures, one of those impacts is sea level rise. We know that global average sea level has risen about 10 centimeters over the past 30 years, and that's projected to continue. Rising seas already are and will continue to cause damage that will be costly, especially in New Zealand with so much infrastructure built near coasts. Another impact is increasing frequency and intensity of storms and flooding. One example of this were the floods in Canterbury in 2021. Those were shown to be 10 to 15% more severe and cost at least an extra $8 million just due to climate change. Another impact of climate change is melting glaciers, and this is what I study. New Zealand has about 25% fewer glaciers today compared to 1978. In addition to losing these tongas, glacier melt has impacts on hazards like landslides and flooding, and water resources. The first step is for all of us to understand it better. This can be hard. There's so much messaging about climate change, there does end up being some miscommunication. One example is that a survey found that Kiwis rank recycling as the #1 household action to reduce their carbon footprint. In reality, in a list of about 60 actions to reduce carbon footprints, recycling has the lowest impact. So what can we actually do? A big one is driving less. About half of New Zealand carbon dioxide emissions come from road transport. Another is flying less. Flying from Wellington to Auckland emits about 7 times more carbon dioxide than if you were to take the train. Another is eating less meat and dairy. About half of total New Zealand greenhouse gas emissions come from agriculture. And a big one is to make your voice heard so that people with policy influence, like MPs, local councillors, mayors, know that you think that action on climate change is important. We live in a country that's already seeing the impacts of climate change. Do you want to help shape our understanding of climate science? Studying science gives you the skills and expertise to make a difference for our planet, our people, and our future. Study for a Bachelor of Science at Victoria University of Wellington.